Hi and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we are going to get started with TypeScript classes. A class is a template or blueprint for creating objects. Now, what I am not going to teach you is the basics of classes. Since you're coming from the world of JavaScript, you should already be familiar with what a class is, how objects are instantiated, basically all the ups and downs of classes in JavaScript, because we are just going to cover how they work very briefly in TypeScript. There is certainly a lot more depth you can dive into, but since this is just for really beginners, I'm going to keep things simple and I'm not going to overcomplicate stuff. So class is what it is used to create an object. You can think of it as an object factory. Well, that's the kind of example that is thrown around most of the times. Well, classes are used to, technically they're used to create instances of an object or object instantiations. And those object instantiations, they borrow properties and methods from the class. Okay, that's why an object is called an instance of a class. Now, any object created from a class or any object instantiated from a class, it contains two things. One is data and the other one is operations. Data is sometimes called state and operations is sometimes called behavior, how that class behaves. All right, so let's dive in and let's see how we can create a basic class. So to be able to create a class, first thing is we need to write the class keyword and then the name of that class. Now, the naming convention resembles that of interfaces and type aliases. It has to be Pascal case. It's just a convention. All right, now what do I want this class to do? I want an object to be created from this class. So what does an object have? An object has properties and methods. So let's start there. It's very simple, right? So I'm going to say, I want this class to have a string and a price property. So there are two properties. One is string, the other one is price. One is name, the other one is price. And now there are two errors. The reason for that is because we have not initialized our properties. Now, to be able to initialize properties, we need to access a special function. This special function is called constructor, and it accepts some variables, some parameters, and these parameters are what's going to determine what the object passes as arguments. So whenever we try to use this class, we need to pass in exactly the number of arguments that this constructor function has parameters. So that's really important to keep in mind. All right, so this constructor function is used to initialize an object. It doesn't have a return type annotation because it returns an instance of this class product or this product class. So in here, what do I want the object to have? I want the object to have name, which is of type string, and price, which is of type number. Now let's create this function. There is still some error because we have not actually initialized that. So you can see that these two names, they resemble, but they're actually different. So I'm going to say this dot, depending on how comfortable you are with this keyword, it might be a little bit frustrating for you, or it might be like a breeze, understanding that this keyword, it's the same thing in TypeScript. If you know that. If you don't know what this is a reference to the current class. So instead of referring to the class in any other way, when I say this inside a class, I mean the product class. Or if this was another class, then this would refer to that class. So wherever this is this is written, you have to take a look at the context of that. I have extensively talked about this topic of this keyword in my JavaScript course, which is on Udemy. And I have given you all the ups and downs when learning this keyword. And if you want, you can jump in and watch that course. That is actually a requirement, that course, JavaScript, to be able to understand TypeScript, because TypeScript is built on top of JavaScript. And then you will really understand what this is. In short, it refers to this current class, if it is written within the class. So as soon as I do this, it means that I'm referring to this class. And that's why using the dot notation, I can reference the name property or the price property. Now, why can we use the dot notation here? Because at the end of the day, this class is used to create objects. Objects have the dot operator. That's why the class has the dot operator. So I'm going to say this does dot name. As soon as I do this dot name, I'm not referring to this parameter. I'm referring to the property itself. And I'm going to say this dot name, this property is equal to the name parameter. And now you can see after writing the name, this name within the constructor just got highlighted. Watch this price. So I'm going to say this, which is a reference to the class. And what does the class currently have? It has two properties, name and price. So if I do dot notation, name and price, I can select the price. And as soon as I write the price, this is going to get highlighted. Cool. Price. There we go. So now we have created a class, two properties, a constructor function, and we have initialized those properties. Now, all of this that we have done so far is just to make sure there is no error. All right, we're going to dive more into that in our upcoming lessons. For now, we are just like testing the water. I'm going to create a method as well. It is called run promotions. This method, it is not going to return anything. It's just going to console log something. So I'm going to say if this is a reference to the class, this dot name. You can see the run promotions is here as well, because run promotions is a function or a method of the product. That's why it has to be appended on that class. So if this dot name is equal to TypeScript, if we are talking about the TypeScript course, I want to log a message, and that is going to be grab come on, buddy. Grab the discount. Cool. We can take a look. We can create a couple instances of this class. We can say let product underscore one. Now, how are we going to do that? We are going to use the new keyword. The new keyword creates a new instance of a class. So if the class is product, if I say new product, this is going to create a new product, and that is going to be an object. The object is going to contain two properties and one method. Now, as soon as I open parentheses, two things are required. It's name string and price number. It's the same thing that we have specified in the constructor. So now you can see what is the idea behind the constructor. So I'm going to write TypeScript here. If I can type it, TypeScript, and then the price is going to be 10. Let's create another product. This is going to be JavaScript. Cool. So we have two products. Let's log into the console and let's see that. So I'm going to say log product 1 and product 2. If I save that, jump into the console, we can see two objects. So these two objects, they are instances of the product class. Keep that in mind. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this method. Let's execute that. So I'm going to say product dot, we can since the object product1 and product2 are instances of the product class, these methods, these properties which are declared within the product class, they are accessed outside of it as well. Now, when you access that outside of the class itself, they're not being accessed from the class, but they're being accessed from directly from the object created from the class. All right, so you can see it is product1. It's the same name, the name of our object. So we are accessing these properties or members on the object itself. All right, and in here, I'm just going to run this. Let's save this, and I'm going to run it for the second product as well. Keep in mind now, if the product's name is TypeScript, it's going to show that message. And there we go. So when the name of it is TypeScript, it basically shows grab the discount. Cool. So I think that is it for this lesson. See you in the next one.